sun sets to my right side. Now, these architects had to prove to the city that the building wouldn't be too tall, so they had to do some shadow testing. Got a couple of cranes, lifted up a frigidly large tarp to see at what point it would cast a shadow. Today, guys, this building is only 16 stories tall, and no matter what part of the year that we are in, the sunset can always be seen from the very front door of the Alamo. Now, here on my right side, the red brick building that we're about to pass, Casino Club building. Unfortunately, no, it's not a real casino. Casino was another word for a club back in the 1920s. And in 1927, a couple of German businessmen decided to open up their own little private club here. Today, the bottom 2 floors are now a Saltgrass Steakhouse. Top 4 floors are now an apartment complex. You can actually live here on the main part of the Riverwalk if you really wanted to. That's where we are at right now. This is where all the fun happens. Give you a little history of the Riverwalk, guys. The Riverwalk was actually built as part of a WPA project between 1939 and 1941. Now, the restaurants really didn't start showing up here until 1972. Today we got a wide variety of food here on the Riverwalk, guys. We got Mexican food, we got Tex-Mex, we got Mexican food, we got fish, we got Mexican food, we got burgers, we got Mexican. How do you get my drift? There's a lot of Mexican restaurants here on the Riverwalk. If any of you are a fan of margaritas, coming up here on my left side where you see Cafe Olé, yeah, they are the home of the 60-ounce, that is 60-ounce margarita. Very good. $23, get your flavor. $33, please call a cab home. Now to show you the man behind the concept of the Riverwalk, if you look here on my right side, this statue right here, this guy's name is Robert Hugman. He's the man behind the concept of the Riverwalk, but he was not by himself. If this reminds you of a Disney ride, that's because Mr. Walt Disney himself had a little bit to do with the concept of the Riverwalk. It is a small world after all, if you get my drift. Now, the oldest restaurant on the Riverwalk would open way before 1972. It actually opened back in 1946. They are still here on my right side. It's Casa Rio. Without them, we don't know if any other business or if any other restaurant would have ever opened here on the Riverwalk.
Look at the ducks.
These guys are considered to be an authentic Mexican restaurant, guys, with authentic dishes like pozole, things like that. Now, what's kind of crazy is that this authentic Mexican restaurant has been owned by the same German family ever since they opened back in 1946.
Germans make the best
They even have a little German restaurant up on street level called Shiloh's. They've been around since Prohibition. Supposedly they have their own root beer, right? Supposedly they made a very special root beer for adults only during Prohibition.
What beer is that?
Supervisor passes us really fast. He has a place to go really quick. All right, everybody say hi, Monty, again.
He's doing a great job. He's awesome.
No, he's good.
All righty, guys.
That's it. That was your tip, bro.
Thank you, I guess. All righty. You're good, man, sir. Right here in front of us, we have all these hotels, guys. I want you to look at the really big hotel towards the left end of the hotels. Kind of has a little twin tower look to it. You see 2 needles sticking out at the very top. That is the Marriott River Center Hotel. Marriott River Center opened back in 1988 with the River Center Mall. That's where we first started our tour. They had the grand opening the same day for both places. They do anchor each other. It is also considered to be the 2nd tallest structure in San Antonio. Now, before construction could even begin on this building, the city had to figure out what they were going to do with the old Fairmont Hotel, which stood in its place. Now, the Fairmont opened back in 1906. In the early 80s, the state deemed it an historical landmark. So the city's hands were tied. They could not tear down the building. So what they decided to do instead was crazy. They decided to just move the building. Literally, a 3-story hotel that weighed over 3.3 million pounds. They had jacked up right off of its foundation. They placed it onto dollies and then had several dump trucks simply tow this building 6 blocks, 6 days. Broke a world record. Today it's off the intersection of South Alamo and Nueva. A few blocks behind us, and right next door to La Vida. Also considered to be haunted. By the way, the reason I like a lot of this haunted stuff, guys, I'm actually a paranormal investigator here in San Antonio. Not a big team, but we do have several investigations a month. Like every 8 out of 10 investigations, we really don't catch anything. But when we do, it's like it makes up for everything. It's kind of crazy. I can't promote my Facebook page, but if you talk to me after we get off the boat, want to see it, yeah, let me know. Now, the tallest structure in San Antonio is not a hotel. It's not a business office either. It is a freestanding tower. Kind of resembles the Space Needle that's in Seattle, or like the house from Jetsons. Kind of looks like a UFO up there in the sky, guys. Look, almost directly in front of the boats. That is the Tower of the Americas. Tower of the Americas, guys, was built as a centerpiece for that World's Fair that I was telling you about. 750 feet tall from the base of the top with an antenna, 625 feet until you get to the top of the top house. The top house was about 700 tons. Up there is a restaurant which rotates once an hour, and an observation deck which is right on top of that as well. I know you probably can't hear me that well, so I'm going to wait to get under this bridge. Any of y'all think y'all can do that job up there? Yeah, that's kind of high, right? I feel like I was just like tilted over. All right, guys, we are coming into the this breeze feels really nice. Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, guys. Henry B. Gonzalez, a San Antonio native, which became the first Hispanic to be elected to Congress, serving his term from the early 60s to the late 90s. During the World's Fair, this place provided a lot of space which was needed for a lot of the exhibits and performances. And in 1973, a basketball team originating in Dallas, Texas, decided to jump ship and move somewhere else. They decided to choose the city of San Antonio, as they would change their names to the San Antonio Spurs, led right out here on this property until 1994. Right up here on my left side, you'll see this very beautiful tile mural right on top of this theater. Also built for the World's Fair. It's made up of 400,000 1-inch by 1-inch tiles. 11 different colors make up this tile mural, 10 of which are natural stone colors. The only thing painted up there is just the blue. That is it. A man by the name of Juan O'Gorman designed and built this all by himself. Put those 1-inch by 1-inch tiles up there one by one. Same man who made the big tile mural down in Mexico City. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and turn around right here. I know they got some work being done back there. Just cleaning up the area back there. Alright, we're only taking off about 60 seconds off the boat ride. It's not too bad. Well, I do want to show you something though, guys. Any of y'all for my true Spurs fans who are on the boat, I want to show you something. Pretty much directly behind us is the all new section. Completed back in 2001. Before then, back in the early 90s and before, there's a big arena right there called the Hemisphere Arena, built for the World's Fair, 1968. It's had only 6,000 people. When the Dallas Chaparrals decided to move their team here to San Antonio and become the Spurs, they did it on one condition. In the arena that they played had to sit at least 10,000 people. Well, the city of San Antonio couldn't afford a brand new arena, so what they decided to do was add 4,000 seats to this place that was already fully packed with 6,000. What they did, they raised the roof, literally added a second deck, added 4,000 seats, guys. 10,000 people can go to the game. How about 20 couldn't see the game because there was a big old pillar right in front of your seat? Introduce the obstructed view seating. That's the only way they can add add the extra roofing. Now, guys, you see the theater, the mural again, right on top of the theater. That theater is named after Lila Cockrell, the very first female mayor to ever serve here in San Antonio. 3 terms she served from the late 70s to the early 90s until she decided not to run again. The end of her last term, especially if you're into politics, get this, guys. The end of her last term, she had over an 85% approval rating. One of the best mayors to ever serve this city. One more thing about the Fairmont Hotel, guys. When the city of San Antonio was moving to Fairmont, they had a lot of obstacles, right? Including this bridge. The city of San Antonio was afraid that this bridge would collapse with the weight of the building. So to prevent the bridge from collapsing, the city drained the river from underneath this bridge, placing several steel support beams under this bridge, giving it a lot more support. They even placed an empty beer bottle in between the crack of the wall and the bridge, right up here on the right side of that last fence. What they were looking for was to see if the beer bottle would crack or break, because if it did, it only meant that the bridge could possibly do the same. Obviously, though, the bridge is still standing today. The building made it across, and the beer bottle, a Budweiser beer bottle, stayed intact. King of beers, could have held up the bridge by itself. I'm going to show you the Tower of the Americas one more time, guys. This time back here up on my left-hand side behind me. Tower of the Americas, as I said, guys, is the tallest structure in San Antonio, second tallest freestanding tower in the United States. The only one to beat us is the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. The Space Needle in Seattle is number 3. If any of you are a fan of Happy Hour, up at the Tower of the Americas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 7 p.m. Drink specials as well as appetizers, only $4 to $7. Desserts, only $2 to $3. You can take the kids up there. If you spend more than $10 at the restaurant, you are allowed to go up to the observation deck at no extra cost. Just to do the observation deck is $10.95 a person. The reason I like that place so much, even though I'm afraid of heights, it's just really awesome up there. I already am afraid of heights too, so yeah, for me to be up there, it's the same. Guys, when you go home, tell your family, tell your friends about San Antonio. If you enjoyed it, tell them to come over here and visit with you next time. Wait for the heat to go away. Come back in December, guys, when we have all the Christmas lights on all of our trees. It is very beautiful down here. My name is Chris. Thank y'all so much for riding, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay cool, get water, get Gatorade, get hydrated. It'll be have fun today. Yeah. All righty, guys. Thank y'all so much. Let me pull up in the shade real fast to make sure you can, not get heat stroke or anything. If you have truly enjoyed my ride, once I say it is safe to exit, please exit to the right of the boat onto the dock. If for some reason you found that you did not enjoy